Something funny? Something funny? Something funny. That's a complete waste of time. I spent 5 weeks doing this course, and they basically said stand up here and say something funny. Thanks for that, Theo. That was a pretty much wasted of time. We're going to start again, I think. Hello, everybody. Good evening. I know what you're thinking. Either Chris Moores has let himself go, or Rick Waller is looking fucking stunning. A lot of my friends said I should have tried stand-up, but being inherently lazy, I never wanted to do sit-down comedy. That's the way I'm buffering. This isn't the first time I've been in the spotlight, to be honest. I actually went viral back in 2011. The doctor said it was the worst STD they'd ever seen. I'm actually coming over from Hereford this evening. For those that don't know Hereford, that's the last Anglo-Polish settlement on the Welsh border, keeping the Welsh from flooding in and stealing all our vowels. I mean, Hereford gets a bad rap for having Polish immigration and the fact there's a lot of Poles over there, but I don't mind at all, really, because I can relate. I mean, I was born in Leicester, and I was ginger. So, you can only imagine what it was like growing up being ginger in Leicester. I was literally the minority's minority. I know what you're thinking. You're wondering where the ginger part has now gone. There is a story there. I can't really remember what happened. It's all a bit hazy. All I remember is getting sent to my uncle's sometime back in, I think it was about for a week, back in some school summer holiday. And it was a bit like the Shannon Matthews experience. I spent the entire week hiding under a bed, but out of my own choice. No, I've got a 10-year-old son as well who's also a redhead, or day walker, as we like to call him. And recently my ex asked me to have a word with him about the sort of the birds and the bees chat, but I didn't want to do that because it's not fair giving sort of 10-year-old false hope that he might ever get laid. I'll tell you a bit about my wife as well. We've been together for about 7 years or so. About 2 years ago, she managed to lose her right leg in an accident. Red does mean stop, not go. And it's been kind of weird getting used to it, because obviously if a loved one loses a limb, it's quite a traumatic experience and getting over that sort of thing. But I mean, I watched a lot of weird stuff on the internet sort of growing up, but I never in a million years thought I'd be involved in actual real life amputee porn. It's okay, I'm fine with it now, because when we make love I can literally blow her sock off. So it's her fault she put me up here, so I'm going to rip on her a bit. Anyways, yeah, it's kind of weird, obviously that whole sort of situation. She says I'm punching above my weight, but quite clearly that's not the case. I mean, she's not the sharpest tool in the box, to be fair, although she seems to think she is. I mean, as an example, she recently only discovered that Azerbaijan is not a perfume as she originally thought. It's actually a country. Although I can see the logic of where she was going with that, if you sort of pronounce it like a perfume advert, Azerbaijan. I mean, she never used to be funny as well when I first met her, but I figure if you swallow enough of me over the years, somebody's got to stay. We actually, I went swimming the other day. I managed a few laps. She swam around in circles. She likes to come up with things that, well, basically like inventions that have never been invented before. Or so she thinks. We were swimming along and she's shouting over to me something about, wouldn't it be amazing if they invented like underwater headphones so you could listen to your music while you're swimming? Which I had to pull over, turn the music down because I didn't know a damn word she was saying. I've also got a cousin that's, Well, it's weird. You say like it's a little bit special, but I want to say retarded, but that's not really PC. She shows signs of various ailments, but hasn't actually been diagnosed with any of them. It's a bit like saying you look stupid, or something similar along those lines. She basically shows signs of, I think it's Asperger's, dyslexia, and something else, but doesn't actually have any of them, which is a bit odd on itself. She also is sort of listed down as being artistic. Sorry, autistic. No, it's the same difference. They both like painting by numbers. Have you guys seen the Simon the Ogre advert? That's not me personally, but Simon the Ogre advert that's been on TV recently. It was basically about a man that goes on holiday and slowly regresses sort of from an ogre back to some human after sort of relaxing or de-stressing, which I find hard to believe because he's on holiday with his wife and snotty kid. But it was in the news recently because I think we received something like 80 complaints. I'll give you a guess what those complaints were about. All the complaints were about the fact that it was depicting disability, which, first of all, who the hell is claiming to be an ogre and claiming disability allowance? I mean, the only thing I can think of is the same doctor that's been diagnosing my cousin. Just, oh, you look like you've been grinding bones to bake your bread. Ogreism, there you go. I'll stop ripping on my family now, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a massive film fan. I used to be a thinner film fan, but every time I watch a film, you can't help but get the odd snack, drink, the popcorn, so needless to say that explains why I'm slightly hefty. I mean, I tried to get the wife to come with me to go to the cinema, but she's not into films. She always tries to get me to go to bingo with her, which I normally refuse to go. Simply because it's a bit like God's waiting room down there. It's full of old ladies and just stinks of piss. But I said, the only way you'll get me down there is if you'll let me go as the Grim Reaper. I've also been on a bit of an exercise drive sort of recently. I've been downloading the Couch to 5K podcast, which apparently isn't for local GPS. I've also been trying to sort of focus on, as a kind of goal, to lose a bit of weight. I was looking at joining the RF Reserves, but going through, you have to look at the process to see what's involved and what's got to be done. And it says you need to, I worked out my BMI and worked out I probably had to shed about 6 stone of excess weight, which is when my lazy gene kicked in and I started looking at the boy going, if I smother him in his sleep, does that count? But I spoke about my sort of 7 minutes up, I think. When I said to the wife, I need to perform for 7 minutes, she did ask me if I was doing it twice and then changing the bed sheets. Thank you all.